What's up guys, Lich here with another YouTube tutorial, and today we're going to be learning about motifs slash melodies. So if you're a beginner or just somebody who is fairly new to like music theory, this is something that you probably heard of a little bit in other tutorials or just a little bit, with music. So I'm just going to break it down for you what exactly is a motif and a little bit of how to come up with a motif, and then we're going to try to come up with a melody. You can follow along if you want to, or you know yeah, you can just pause the video and just come up with your own. So first things first, what exactly is a motif? So if you look it up, a motif is basically the leading or main idea of a composition or literary art. So what that means is it's basically, in layman terms, the main melody. It's the main idea of your song or your melody. So what exactly makes a good motif? First things first, what makes a really good motif is that it's, number one, very simple. You don't want to have motifs that are very, well, you can have motifs that are very complicated or just all over the place, but some of the best, or a lot of the best motifs, are just very, very simple. And, you know, the simpler, the better to remember. So I'm going to show you a motif that basically almost every human on the planet knows, and it is the most simplest motif ever. So I'm just gonna play it and then let you hear it. So here it is. So unless you live under a rock or somehow you just never heard of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, yeah, that's literally Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Everybody knows it. It's the most rememberable motif on the planet. And as you can see, it is super simple. Like anybody can play this. Another thing that makes motifs very good is that they're, rememberable and easy to understand. So let's say, right, this is C major. As you can see, all the keys are on the white. And even if I change the helper with a scale helper, right? C major, look at that. C major. All the keys are within the key of C major. So let's say I wanted to change this, right? From C major to, we'll just go up to D major, right? All you have to do, or just, hold on. All you have to do, and you'll say, oh, it'll probably sound different. It will sound different because it's in a different key, but if you hear it, even though we changed the key, the main idea of the motif is still there. It still sounds like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and it still sounds really good. So when you're building, say, for instance, a melody, or you're trying to come up with a melody, one thing that is really helpful and really helpful for me when I was building my melodies is that you want to just come up with an idea. Let's say we're trying to come up with a melody, and I'm just going to turn the velocity up a little bit. That could be normal. So say you are trying to come up with a melody, you don't exactly know what you are trying to come up with, you don't really have an idea. Just try to come up with like a musical phrase or some type of phrasing that somebody can just follow along, right? So I'm just really quickly just going to plug in a few notes right here. All right. So that's really quickly, an idea of a motif that you could do. Of course, you can always, add some more notes. You can, maybe take out a few notes, just add some breaks there. It's really up to you. A motif is basically coming from your heart. So, what do you want the melody to say? What do you want the listeners to hear when they hear your track? That's basically the idea of a motif. So, what we're going to do is we're going to try to come up with a motif right here on the spot, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in some notes and I'm just going to put it in my favorite key. I like E minor. I like how it sounds. And we're just going to come up with a simple motif. All right. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just building something really quickly over here. So these first two bars are going to be my main idea right here. And then it's going to repeat right here. So what I like to do, quick little, just tip, just a bonus tip that I like to do when building my melodies. A friend of mine told me this concept when he was trying to come up with his melodies. He plays guitar. Something that he told me is you want to treat building a melody kind of like you're cooking. So when you're cooking, you just want to kind of build something, get your spice. When you're cooking, you're trying to put spices, right? First thing you want to do is you just want to put your meat on the grill, right? Or your meat on the skillet. Meat on the skillet. We'll just say skillet. So I already put my meat on the skillet. Now, what I want to do for the next two bars is I want to do right here on the third bar is I want to start adding my spices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly change this around, not too much to where it's unrecognizable, but just enough to where it's different, just to spice it up. So we'll start right here on the third measure. All right. So what I did here, and I'll let you listen to it, I changed it around to where I'm still in the key of E minor, but I spiced up the melody to where it's almost a different melody and it's leading into something different for the fourth. And what you're going to do on the last bar, the fourth measure, is you're going to change the melody entirely into something different. And then at the end of the fourth, you're going to lead into your first melody because in today's, form of music, everything is repeating. So, obviously this is just going to be a loop. So you're going to want to lead the last measure or the last bar into leading into back into the first. So we're just going to listen to this real quick and then kind of branch off of that. All right. And there. So we're going to listen to the whole melody in its entirety and just see how it sounds. Sounds pretty decent. This is just a simple example of how to do this, right? So I'm going to zoom in for anybody so you can see the full melody. So that is one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is, let's say we're trying to, make this into like a math equation, right? So have you ever heard of keep, change, flip? This is another way you can look at it. You can also look at it as scale it, skillet, spice, flip. Like you're flipping like the food you're trying to make. So you can look at it that way. So let's say we're trying to look at it as math, right? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this second bar. I'm just gonna copy it. Control C, and I'm going to delete it. And what I'm going to do is delete this third bar. Now let's say instead of keep, right, we say keep change, right? So instead of keeping the second measure, we're just going to change it entirely, right? So right, and then for the third measure, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that same musical idea. So we're just going to play it at the second and then listen to the last measure. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you have a better idea of how to come up with, melodies, how to come up with different sounds. If you want to know any more, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting more tutorials. You know, try to improve it better and better as we go. Comment down below some other ideas that you want to know about, any questions you may have, and if you like this video, like it. If you don't like the video, downvote it. Doesn't matter to me. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.